Oh, yeah. It's that time, NBN. It's that time, faithful. 12 o'clock, March Madness, midnight. Midnight Madness. March Madness at midnight. Day 18, right? Day 18.
There you go.
Brian, man, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, new day.
Same old, right? Let's get to these questions, man. We're going to hop right into
Let's
it tonight. Vernon Freeman with the first question. He says, with a good start to free agency, seeing how the team is coming together, what would you like to see us do on day one of the draft?
Me personally, I still would like to go see them get Aziz, trade back a couple spots and get Aziz Ajulari, solidify that defensive end position. But if they don't go that route, then I kind of like the thought process of putting E-Man into the slot and then going and getting maybe Farley or however you pronounce his name, or someone else in the first, whether that's Horn or whomever they deem to be their pick in the first round.
So corner or defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go with the next question. Victor Vang says, what are the chances we move on from Jimmy with Flacco and use the money to sign other free agent? I'll take the first part, and then you can take the second part. What are the chances we move on from Jimmy with Flacco and use the money to sign other free agents? Absolutely zero. I'm not gonna.
Right?
You're gonna move on from Jimmy with Joe Flacco. So, Brian, the second part of the question is: if there's a drop off from using Flacco instead of Jimmy, how much of a drop off is there?
I think that there'd be me personally. I think that's a significant drop off from Jimmy to Flacco.
All right. Next question is from KP. What up, KP? Do we make the playoffs this year?
Absolutely. We're winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're going to the Super Bowl, people.
No, we're not going. We're winning.
Yeah, we're winning the Super Bowl. We're winning the Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm still up in the air. Alex Faulkner, what's up, my guy? He says, what happens if Jimmy G gets hurt again? All this talent for nothing? Big risk.
That's why they're in the search for a backup quarterback.
This is why you need to upgrade the backup position, just in case. John V says, who's that dude with Nick, fam? It's Brian. I'm not going to put that up there. All right. Luke Walsh, Pitts or Slater?
It depends on what you want to use Slater for. I mean, obviously, I think that Slater would probably, if he was to play guard, he would probably be an upgrade over Brunskill. But I like Brunskill at guard. So if I had all my pieces in place, I think adding Pitts would be great.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go. I mean, look, Pitts is obviously a generational talent. If you want to upgrade at that guard position, though, if you waste a first round pick at number 12 on an offensive lineman, he's playing this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So he's not going to be building behind Brunskill, and we just brought Brunskill back. I don't think they go first round offensive line. So I would definitely take the generational talent in Pitts just because he's there.
Right.
All right, let's see here. This question is for you, Brian. Why did Brian cut the beard?
Because it was time.
Because it was time.
It's just too straggly. I don't like it. It gets too long. I spent 20 years in the military. I'm used to being clean shaven, and having that thing is just driving me insane. So it was time to go.
David Edmondson III says, how about the fact that K'Wan Williams, the Shark, or Kerry Hyder still haven't been taken? Can you see them back with us? I just put a tweet out tonight about this. I said the longer that they stay out there, is that better chances for the 49ers on bringing them back on a, cheaper deal. I was actually talking with Jay. He says right now we have about $13.5 million in cap space.
Right.
That's not counting the Ford restructure. That's also not counting the million. It was like $1.5 million that we get back from the Richburg retirement.
It also doesn't include, because we don't know the breakdown of Max.
And it doesn't include the Mac breakdown, right? So he said we're looking anywhere from $5 to $10 million to get back for Ford. Look, I definitely see this as an opportunity to bring Kerry Hyder and K'Wan Williams back. I would not be opposed to bringing either of those guys back. Both of them are definitely good skill players. Melissa Izzy says, is Defo and the Colts the game you look forward to the most outside our division rivals?
I don't have I'll have to pull up the schedule because I don't know. I'm not excited about playing the Colts.
Not excited about playing the Colts?
No, I mean, it doesn't. They're making moves and they're trying to build their team, but I still think they're not. I don't want to say they're not competition because they're doing a good job in rebuilding that team. I'm just not a big fan of Wentz, and I just don't think that. I think we'll beat them.
That's at home too, right? That's not in Indy.
I don't know. That's what I'm pulling up right now. I was trying to fill
yeah,
up
I think it's at Levi.
The away and home schedule.
Yeah. Saul Valdez. Sorry if I. Saul Valdez. What do you guys think of quarterback Mills from Stanford? I know. I didn't watch it today, but I heard he was throwing the ball around like crazy and had a hell of an arm. So I told you guys before, I don't watch draft until a couple days, like let free agency go by a little bit just to kind of see where we're at and what we're going to need and what our needs are. So I have not watched him personally, just from the things that I saw today. This one's for you. Danny Albright says, does Armstead take a pay cut?
No. Next year, probably.
Next year?
Yeah, we'll have to restructure him next year, probably. Because I think right now we're looking at like $26 million for the cap next year right now. Like we only have like 25 players under contract for next season. So they're going to have to make some room next year.
This actually isn't a question. Top tight end, offensive tackle, fullback, edge rusher, linebacker, arguably top 3 in the NFL at each of those positions. All right, so Callie Bill says, with the way free agency has panned out so far, who would you guys like to see drafted at 12? We just talked about that. Yeah. We said a corner or edge rusher, and that was Slater or like J.C. Horn or Filer, something like that. I
think, and to answer that question from earlier, I think my most anticipated away game this year is going to be the Bears.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. James here says, what do you think about signing a 1-year deal with AB, and what about bringing Frank the Tank back?
AB is too much of a headache. I wouldn't even bother. And as much as I personally would love to see Frank back on this team, I don't think that will happen.
All right. Let's see. I definitely agree with you. I'm not sure about the 1 year with AB if we can afford it, obviously. And then I'm not bringing Frank the Tank back unless it's just to sign a contract, a 1-day contract to retire with us. I'm not big on bringing ex-players back, even though I love Frank the Tank. Let's see. There's no other questions here. All right, here we go. Here's another question. Mac 8 Willis 4. Should we go after a cornerback left in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, if we can fit it under the cap, let's do it.
Do you think with the news today with Kyle Fuller going to be released, do you think the Niners can afford him?
I think that they can make it happen if they want to.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Riggs Murtaugh. I love that. Odds of Flacco in red and gold. What's your odds on that?
I don't know. Being that we didn't hear anything else after we heard he was coming in for a meeting.
It said that there was a tweet that left after that he will not sign anything today. He has a couple other teams. He wants to make a decision. Take a couple days.
I'll go with 30% that he signs.
30%?
We'll just randomly throw a number out there.
All right. Jay Tan says, Q, would you bring in Deshaun Jackson? I'm not sure if that's a question for us or somebody in the chat, but would you bring in Deshaun Jackson?
No.
Me either. Mariah says, why is Shark still available? Jets don't want him?
I think the Jets are still trying to figure out. I know they just went and got Joyner today, but I think he's playing safety from what I heard.
Yeah.
So that still leaves that slot spot available. So there's a good chance that Shark still ends up over there. But I guess it's going to come down to the money.
I know that there was a lot of talk about him going there, but it could be, like you said, about money. Teron Bam says, sign Kyle Fuller and draft J.C. Horn.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do it, right?
We're going to get ourselves in a position where, like we talked about last night, best player available. So, yep. If we can trade back in the first round, still get a player that we like, and pick up a second or a additional third round, that would be the best bet, because I think picks or the big board, like between 60 and 120, is a prime spot to be picking this year. Just if you look at the talent that looks like it's slated there on the different boards that the Pontiffs are using out there, that seems to be like a sweet spot.
Terrell Cox says, who's starting at right guard if it was your choice?
Brunskill? It's the only.
Well, I'm saying it could be anybody. So
if you're going to sign somebody else or go get somebody else, then I don't know who's still available in free agency.
Yeah. All right. So Tony Two-Tone Niner Faithful says, do you think K1 the Shark is still on the table?
It's up in the air. He hasn't signed anywhere else yet, so yeah, it's still on the table.
All right. My guy Gibster says, with Kinlaw, Sosa, Bosa, and Armstead, do you think the 49ers try to get a full NASCAR package and get a defensive end in the draft? Or do you think Kinlaw meets the needs of a NASCAR package?
What? I've never heard that term before. Do you know what a NASCAR package is?
I don't know what he's referring to as a NASCAR package. I guess like all speedsters.
Yeah, I still like the idea of going out getting Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. I think that would be a great fit. It gives us an extra piece of depth to get that rotation, keep that rotation going.
GM cap guys, if Najee falls to us in the round 2, you taking him?
I would love to get him on this roster.
Me too. That's no question. If he falls,
I think he would be so fun to watch in this offense.
I'm trying not to go over questions that we've already answered. So, Danny Albright, who's starting at strong safety right now?
We just talked about that. Now I drew a blank.
Marcel Harris?
Harris. Not yet.
Harris?
Right now, yeah.
All right. Let's see. I got to go down here. Get down. It's 4 defensive end. He says it's 4 defensive end on the D line, like what the Giants had. Package.
No, I don't think that Kinlaw counts in that aspect.
Yeah, I don't think so either. John V says, can Kyle Fuller play slot corner? Do we find ourselves deciding between Shark or Fuller given the opportunity?
I don't know if he can play slot. But like I said, I think that if we can get our hands on Fuller, then you can push Mosley down to the slot.
Tony says, Brian, I must ask you a question. What the heck happened to your facial hair, bruh?
Like I said, it's that time of year. It's start getting too warm up here in the mountains for me.
All right. Your opinion, did the Watson situation throw a wrench in Kyle's plans?
We don't know what Kyle's plans are, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it definitely threw a plan in everybody's wrench in everybody's plans, not just specifically Kyle's, because you got to figure out what the investigation goes through. Top 5 running backs for 49ers all time.
Obviously Gore's in there. Rathman. Craig. Go to the new age.
Come on, 30 seconds. Gotta get another one in there.
I still like Mostert. I don't know if he's one of the best backs that they've ever had, but it's definitely what's that? Is that 5 or is that 4?
That's 4.
Waters, I guess, maybe.
Waters. All right. There they are. Mariota or Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy, because he's in the system. I like Mariota. I'm an Oregon guy. I love Mariota. I loved him playing there. I know he hasn't lived up to expectations in the NFL, but I think he'd be great in this system too. If you could get him in here as the backup, I'd rather have him over Flacco any day.
Let's see. We got actually that's it, guys.
Time.
We'll check y'all out tomorrow. Midnight Madness.
And I'll be on the road.
Peace.